What's up everyone, this is Dominic from Tiger Showlands in Smithtown. Today I'm going to show you how to make almond crusted salmon. So come on over here, let's show you what you need. So, got in here, almond meal. Very nice. This is just ground up almonds. You can make it yourself, you can buy it in the supermarket. Got about 4, I'm doing meal prep for myself, so 4 6-ounce salmon fillets. Quinoa, nice if you ever cook with that. I've got some snap peas here, show you how to clean these up. Optional here. If you want to use chia seeds for this, we'll show you how to do it, but there's a nice superfood here. Good omega-3s in there. As for spices, I basically made my own Old Bay seasoning. Just salt, a little red pepper, celery seed if you have that, garlic. Got olive oil here, a couple bowls for mixing. Over here for equipment, got myself sheet tray with a wire rack, saute pan for the snap peas, and as far as knives, just a paring knife, all you're gonna need. So, let's get started on this. Right here with my almond meal, I've got about a cup. That's all I'm gonna do. Throw that right in the bowl. I'm gonna take my seasoning, toss that right in there as well. Give that a mix. And these chia seeds, like I said, really good superfood. So I'm gonna throw that. It's gonna be the crust for our salmon here. So, pop this open. And I'm going for a tablespoon. That's it. So I like this. It's super simple to do. All you're doing is baking salmon. Already ahead of time, I've set my oven to 325. And we're gonna bake these roughly, depending on the size of the fillets you're using. I'm going for 20 minutes on mine. So all we're gonna do, essentially bread them. Try to coat everything. Now the reason I'm using this wire rack, put them right on there. The reason I'm using this wire rack here is so that the heat can go through everything. If you just put it on the sheet pan, it'll cook through, but then you won't get that nice crust on the bottom as well. So all we're gonna do, just bread all these, get them on the sheet tray. So now that we've got all these breaded, we're gonna pop it in the oven, and we're leaving it for 20 minutes. So from here, these snap peas, what's great about them, you can actually eat them the way they are. You don't need to cook them, but we're gonna give them a little saute, give them a nice little brown on them. To clean these, you wanna cut the ends off. A lot of them will pull a couple out. You'll see that they've got a bit of a stringy bit on these. You don't wanna eat those, so the easy way to clean them off, paring knife, just cut the ends off, that's it. So what I've done ahead of time, I've actually already cooked the quinoa. I've done it here in my rice cooker, which is so simple to use. I absolutely love my rice cooker. One of the best pieces of kitchen equipment I have. But if you don't have a rice cooker, a slow cooker, or anything like that, rice cookers, sure, absolutely handy. But the quinoa you can cook on the stovetop. So now that my greens are all cut, washed, what I'm gonna do here, a little bit of olive oil in a hot pan. Let this get heated up. Salmon's just about ready. Now, if you don't know how to cook salmon, or you haven't cooked it before, or you don't like to cook salmon, it's actually really easy. What I have here, if you've got one of these or any kind of thermometer, all you're gonna do, to check them, stick it into the meaty part of the salmon. Cooking temperature of salmon is 145. So if you hit 145, they're done, you can pull them out. We're gonna check that in a little bit though. I know they're gonna need a couple more minutes, but by the time these greens are done, salmon should be cooked just fine. Now for any kind of sauteing, while you're heating up your oil, you can tell it's ready. This is olive oil. If you're using olive oil, you can tell it's ready to saute anything because you'll start to see smoke coming up from the pan. And once we've hit that point, I'm just going to throw all these greens in. And all I'm doing here is just cooking these a little, getting a nice brown crust around the edges on them. But by now, salmon should be done entirely. I'll check it with my thermometer, but here's a good little tip as well. If you get in close here, you can tell salmon's done, sometimes a lot of other red fishes as well. Start to see this almost white liquid coming up on the salmon. That's how you know that they're done. Even with time and practice, just by feel, you can tell that they're cooked. They have a firmness to them. For an added measure, I like to check as well. So the meatiest part, usually around the head area. If you're imagining the salmon, top part, or I guess I should say the top spine of the salmon is where we're aiming. So, now that everything here is done, plating, very simple. You can see the nice color I've got in the greens here. Little sear on them, just a little color. Gives them a nice crisp texture. And as for serving, about 1/4 cup of greens. Piece of salmon, just like that. There you go. So this has been a quick little recipe. Hopefully you guys can use it. I personally love salmon. Nice little crust on this, it's really nice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys will use this recipe. Stay tuned for more. We've got snacks, dinners, lunches planned. We'll see you guys next time.